Hi, I'm Big Dave, and in today's video I'll be showing you how to make a wool farm in Minecraft. Now, what can you actually do with wool? Well, there are four main items that wool can craft, those being paintings, beds, banners and carpets. Paintings and beds aren't really useful in big amounts, but banners and carpets have a lot of potential. As of this update, there will be a new carpet that isn't wool, which is moss carpet, but at the moment wool is the only block that can make a carpet. Now, wool and concrete are the only blocks that can be dyed into the corresponding colours. You can claim terracotta can as well, but it's a bit weird in that it doesn't actually go that colour. It's a bit dull. This means that there are 16 different types of wool, one for each individual dye colour. So why use wool instead of concrete? Well, concrete is made of sand and gravel along with the dye, and there's not really any easy way of getting a lot of sand and gravel except mining. So if you want to put the effort in and go mining and get loads of sand and gravel to make a big structure, whatever you're using the colours for, then that's fine. You can just go out and get all that. However, if you want an easier route, you can use wool. If we disregard dyes for the time being, then this is the amount of wool I have here. And this is the amount of sand and gravel you'll need to have the concrete I have here. The main benefit of wool over concrete is that you can get it automatically. And if you build your sheep farm big enough, you can get lots of wool. Now, wool is useful in lots of different ways. You can use it to build different structures, to make things look better. It is mainly used for decoration. It's a very good use as a floor, as like a carpet style. However, you can make banners out of it and make all sorts of different designs. Now, as you can see here, I have 4 different stories of this wool farm, and if I go in a bit closer, you can see I have dyed each of the sheep a different colour. Now, you only need 1 dye per sheep to get that colour wool. Once you've dyed it, you'll get infinite amounts of wool. Every time you shear it, it'll be that colour wool. And this is brilliant for the colours that are harder to get, such as black or grey, that are really difficult to get in big amounts. So if you build something like this, you can get the wool and not have to put any more effort into it. Now, before we build this, I do recommend having a little enclosure with some sheep in, because that is probably going to be the most difficult part of building it. It's getting all the sheep in and getting them in place. So all you need is 2, but it works better if you've got more, because if you feed them and breed and then wait a little while, you can build up your amount of sheep, so you don't have to go out and find loads and loads of different sheep. Now, the materials you'll need to build this are 2 observers, 1 repeater, 2 grass blocks, 2 glass blocks, 3 pieces of redstone, 1 dispenser, a pair of shears, a few building blocks, and a sheep. Now, I will build 2 modules of this because, as you see here, the redstone actually alternates height, and this is so that they don't cause a chain reaction, so that if one goes off, they don't all go off. Now, the first thing you want to do is place your grass blocks in. Now, if you don't have silk touch and you can't just get loads of grass blocks, what you can do instead is tower up with dirt to whatever height you want it at. If you just want it down here, you can, and build up a staircase of dirt. And over time, this will turn into grass, which will make this turn into grass, which eventually will cause these 2 blocks here to be grass. And as you can see here, it has done just that. So now that you have your grass blocks in, you want to place a couple of glass blocks. This can obviously, as I said before, be leaves or fences. As long as this stays as a grass block and can travel to here, you're fine. You then want an observer coming out of here, an observer coming out of there, and this basically detects when this grass block gets eaten by the sheep, which means it grows wool again, so that your dispenser can fire and shear it straight away. You then want to build out from the back here and place in 3 bits of redstone like that and a repeater. Then place in your dispenser and just cover the walls in. If you are building one directly next to it, you just want to build out your grass again, do exactly the same thing up until the point where you put the redstone in. So at this point, you actually build up instead, put a couple of blocks here so that the redstone cannot mix, and it is just the same design but 1 block higher. So once you've built your compartments up, you just want to bring your sheep up here. Now you can build a staircase and get them up by leads. This is probably going to be the most difficult part if you're making a big one, so I recommend not building it up in the sky like I have. But obviously, because I'm on creative mode, I'm just going to spawn them in using the egg just to save time. And as you can see there, we haven't put the shears in. And now that the shears are in, hopefully this time they will actually eat the grass and you could see it working properly. And as you can see there, it got immediately sheared and the wool is here to collect. So obviously I will have a collection system underneath running across. If you've got a lot of them, then something like that would go quite fine. Now if you want a simple collection system, I covered that at the end of my last video. You can check that out. It'll be in the top right hand corner. That is just a brief overview on how they work and how to make them. However, this one is slightly different. I've got a hopper minecart going as usual. However, this dispenses the items out into this big line. So this is very good if you've got a few stacked on top of each other. And I'm just going to show you this here so you can rebuild that if you want. And that basically dispenses any item that gets inputted into the dispenser so that they get thrown out as soon as anything comes in. And that's the end of the video. I do hope this was useful for you and that you liked it. If you did, make sure you hit the like button, and if you like this sort of content and you want a bit more, subscribe and hit the bell. I've been Big Dave, and I'll see you in the next one.